Welcome Valerie Guarnieri from the World Food Programme to World Food Day Live.
I'm delighted to be here with you today.
So the first question that I'd like to ask you is, for the benefit of those watching, could you tell us about the work of the United Nations World Food Programme and your role as Assistant Executive Director?
Well, the World Food Programme just celebrated our 60th birthday, and we're the largest humanitarian organization in the world. We work in more than 120 countries, and last year we reached more than 160 million people with food, cash assistance aimed at meeting their food needs today and supporting them to meet their own food needs tomorrow. Our work encompasses emergency food and cash distributions to crisis-affected people, school meals to ensure that all children benefit from a nutritious meal in school, nutrition support for mothers and children who are malnourished, and efforts to really help smallholder farmers improve their productivity and their resilience. I have the great job of being the Assistant Executive Director of the World Food Programme, and in my work, I help guide and support our programs and our policy development around the world.
Can I ask you, what does World Food Day mean to you?
Well, each year World Food Day is an opportunity to really rally attention and support around issues about hunger and food. This year, the focus is on water. Water is life and water is food. And that's super important because while more than 70% of the Earth's surface is covered by water, only about 2.5% of that water is fresh water that is available to drink for agricultural production and even some industrial uses. So water is absolutely essential for life, and water is critical for food security. So we're very pleased that we have the opportunity this year and every year on World Food Day to really focus on what needs to be done to ensure that all people have access at all times to the food that they need to survive and to thrive.
Valerie, the World Food Programme was awarded the Nobel Peace Prize in 2020. Congratulations to you, of course, and all your colleagues. Could you please talk to us about the relationship between peace and food?
A world without hunger requires stability, and conflict is a major driver of food insecurity around the world. In 2018, the UN Security Council passed Resolution 2417, acknowledging how conflict drives hunger, but also prohibiting the use of starvation as a weapon of war. And we see in our day-to-day life around the world how conflict impacts on hunger and food insecurity. Conflict drives people from their homes, causes displacement, separates them from their agriculture and means of livelihood. Conflict also makes it more difficult for us to reach people who require assistance and for them to access markets within which to buy their food. So addressing conflict, ending wars is absolutely key towards ending hunger and improving food insecurity. And starvation should never be used as a weapon for war.
Amazing, Valerie. Thank you for that. Thank you. What are the greatest challenges facing humanity in relation to food?
Well, we're at a point in time where we're seeing global hunger reach record levels. 345 million people suffering from acute hunger today, 45 million children under 5 years old suffering from wasting, from acute malnutrition, and these numbers are simply unacceptable. At the same time, we're seeing resources go down to address hunger. For the first time in my 23-year career with WFP, needs are going up, but resources are shrinking. And this makes it very difficult for us to provide the stopgap measure of supporting people who are really at that knife's edge in terms of needing food to survive, let alone investing in their resilience. So having sufficient funds to address the huge and growing acute food insecurity today is a major, major challenge that we are facing. At the same time, we don't need to just focus on food needs today. We have to be focusing on supporting people to meet their needs into the future. And so investing in food production, investing in more nutritious foods, and ensuring that food systems work for all people is a key challenge moving ahead. And that requires nations to invest in their own food systems, but it also requires international support where needed to help strengthen those systems and make them work more effectively for all people.
In order for humanity to move forward in a constructive and positive way, what steps would you like to see taken by the global community around the fundamental issues that we face when we talk about food?
When we're talking about food, we have to really take a systems approach and look at everything that needs to happen from farm to fork to ensure that food systems work for those furthest behind, that women, youth, and indigenous communities are fully involved in supporting food security and strengthening food systems, and that we are improving food systems in a way that ensures their sustainability also for the planet. So food systems need to work for people, and they also need to work for the planet. Partnerships is another key aspect of this as well. Investing in food and ensuring that all people have access to the food and nutrition that they need requires working across the public and private sectors. It requires science and academia to also come on board. So really having all our hands on deck approach to food system strengthening is key. And then maybe last, I would highlight innovation. You know, we've made huge advances in modern technology and science, and we really need to be bringing that to bear to ensure that we have modern techniques and modern approaches that allow us to ensure we're growing enough food, that food is nutritious, and that we are contributing to replenishing the environment rather than only pulling from it. So all of these aspects need to come together.
Thank you, Valerie. Thank you. So, finally, how can people watching this interview support the work of the World Food Programme, and where do they find out more information?
Well, you can find out more information about the World Food Programme by going to our website at wfp.org, and you can also play your role in contributing to our work through the Share the Meal app, which you can also find through sharethemeal.org. This is a platform through which we can leverage contributions from individuals around the world to support our crisis response in many countries. So I would encourage you to go to Share the Meal and do your part in contributing to addressing global hunger.
Valerie Guarnieri, the Assistant Executive Director of World Food Programme, thank you for joining World Food Day Live.
Thank you so much.